Sports are a business that is one of the biggest moneymakers in the United States. Between advertising, tourism, marketing, gambling, multimedia, and many other aspects of the industry, sports are a profitable business that provides entertainment to the public. However, sports contribute more than just entertainment. Sports can heal. Sports can inspire. Sports can bring communities together. Throughout my life, there have been many instances where I have witnessed sports doing more than just entertaining fans. The athletes that get paid millions to just play a game often go above and beyond to help out and generate goodwill. Whether funding charitable organizations, motivational speaking following tragedies, or joining together to raise the spirits of a city that needs a lift, sports are overall very beneficial to the greater good of our community. While sports provide a strong form of entertainment, they often play other roles in American society, a concept that is clearly demonstrated in the case of the Boston Marathon bombings. Following one of the most catastrophic events in Boston's history, Bostonians rallied around their storied sports franchises in search of a sense of guidance and optimism, an allocation of trust that would not be left unanswered. Patriots Day. The day of the Boston Marathon and the Red Sox annual morning game never fails to fill the city of Boston with electricity and pride. The Boston Marathon has always been one of the liveliest and most patriotic days in Massachusetts. However, on April 15, 2013, the typical euphoric day was sabotaged. Two terrorists placed bombs near the Boston Marathon finish line, which exploded and killed 3 innocent spectators while also wounding more than 260 others. Although the criminals were captured and no longer a threat to society, the damage to the city of Boston and its people were irreversible. While the Boston bombings were a tragic event that deeply damaged the city, Boston's culturally rooted sports teams helped heal the city by creating a sense of pride and unity among the citizens of Massachusetts. The Boston Red Sox undoubtedly became the face of the Boston Strong rally. It started with infielder Will Middlebrooks, who tweeted a picture of his cleats the day after the bombing saying #BostonStrong. The phrase caught on like wildfire. Millions of tweets, t-shirts, and bumper stickers all appeared saying Boston Strong. One athlete took it upon himself to become one of the most undisputed leaders of the Boston Strong movement from the beginning, David Ortiz. During the first Red Sox home game after the bombings, Ortiz addressed the 37,000 Fenway faithful with a microphone in hand. Ortiz explained that the jerseys the team wore on that day, they did not say Red Sox, but instead said Boston, a way of saying that the team was not playing for the Red Sox brand, but for the city of Boston and its people. He then went on to thank Mayor Menino, Governor Patrick, and the entire Boston Police Department. At the conclusion of his speech, Ortiz broke the silence by telling the city what it needed to hear.
This is our fucking city. And nobody gonna dictate our freedom. Stay strong.
Although the historic statement was somewhat unconventional, especially coming from a premier sports figure, Big Papi's message could not have been more well received. The crowd stood as one. Cheers echoed in Fenway Park. Boston had found words after the tragedy of the Boston Marathon, words that would help begin the healing process. After Ortiz's now historic speech in the first home game after the bombings, the Red Sox found themselves in a hole early in the game and could not seem to find a way to recover. That is until Daniel Nava stepped up to the plate. With the Red Sox down 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning, Nava blasted a 3-run homer to put the Red Sox up 4-2, the eventual final score of the game. Former Red Sox play-by-play announcer Don Orsillo touched the hearts of every person listening to the game with one of the most meaningful home run calls in recent baseball history.
Nava hits it in the air to right field. Frank Hoare going back. He's at the wall. Boston, this is for you.
In a game where every pitch is met with a sense of absolute unpredictability, Orsillo made his call as if he had practiced it 1,000 times. Everyone in New England knew that when that ball fell into the right field bullpen, the Red Sox were never looking back. The Red Sox would go on to become the 2013 World Series champions. As the tradition goes, whenever a Boston sports team wins a championship, the players and front office personnel go on a duck boat tour of the city, while fans line the streets to celebrate their team's success. This parade, however, was a celebration of not just a championship, but a huge stride towards returning a feeling of normalcy to the city of Boston. This one special day where people came from all over New England to celebrate Boston is exactly what was needed to restore a sense of well-being to the city. It was estimated that about 1 million people attended the parade, shattering the murmurs that people may stay home due to safety concerns, another testament to the city's unwavering courage. The climax of the parade came when the duck boats reached the marathon finish line on Boylston Street. Normally, the parade would continue down Boylston without hesitation. But Hunter Felt, as he said in The Guardian in November 2013, perfectly conveys the gravity of the events that took place next when he says, "The celebration struck a serious note when the duck boats carrying players and personnel stopped at Boylston. Outfielder Johnny Gomes placed the World Series trophy on the finish line as onlookers sang 'God Bless America' and chanted 'Boston Strong.' Following this, World Series MVP David Ortiz hopped off his duck boat to jog across the yellow and blue line for his own homage to the marathon victims. What Johnny Gomes and David Ortiz did that day will forever be looked back upon as one of the most meaningful moments, not in Boston sports history, but in Boston's history. A city that had been cowering in fear just 6 short months ago had come out in record numbers to join in a celebration of pride and unity, and it could not have happened without the Boston Red Sox. There is no denying that professional sports is a business that is set out to make as much money as possible. Each team in all professional sport leagues in the United States is privately owned and funded with the goal of putting a product on the market that people will pay to see. This concept, however, is not as a matter of fact as it seems. Sports have a unique ability to impact people in ways much deeper than the game itself. If one were to ask a sports fan where their passion comes from, they would receive a variety of answers. If I personally were asked that question, I would answer it in a way that I believe many people with my same kind of passion would reiterate. I don't know. Growing up in a city where sports, especially the Red Sox, are at the forefront of everyone's mind, it becomes second nature to want to see Boston win. Some would say it was growing up hearing Jerry Remy's voice on TV every night at 7. Others would say it was spending 3 hours in the bleachers at Fenway Park on a warm summer's night. Or maybe it's the fact that any given person in New England is more than likely to be wearing a Boston logo of some kind. The pride, it's simply there. It always has been, and it always will be. So when I say sports is more than just a game, I know I'm speaking for millions of other sports fans. When I say the joy and the heartache that sports have brought me over the years, it's very real. Yet the passion does not stem from any sort of tangible event. Now, add in the Boston Marathon bombings. If you thought Boston sports fans were passionate before, wait until you give them something to play for.